So I wasn't allowed to speak about what's in this box until July the 5th. And this morning, as I film this, it is now July the 5th. And just to let you know, this only arrived late yesterday afternoon. So this video is what you might call a little rushed, but I thought you'd want to see this one straight away. What I have here is the Leatherman Garage, or you would probably say Garage, batch number 5. One of only 1,983 that will ever be made, and that number is significant because the very first Leatherman multi-tool, the pocket survival tool, was born in 1983. So this multi-tool, to give it its full name, is called the Leatherman Garage batch number 5 40th anniversary tool. Now, before we have a proper close-up look, I know fans of Leatherman who have been anticipating the launch of this will want to know why this one is grey and not white. Well, I'm lucky enough to have here what I believe to be one of only a few that are in this colour. And as I understand it, a small number of these grey versions are being sent to Leatherman distributors around the world for them to pass them on to people who they want to thank for supporting Leatherman over the years. Now, the distributor in the UK, who I've known for over 30 years, has received just 3 of these and has kindly chosen to give one of them to me. So right now I'm feeling extremely grateful and very lucky to have this. And as you can see, what you get in the box is the multi-tool and one of the original styles of leather case. Okay, let's have a close-up look at what we have here. Now, I have to say it feels reassuringly heavy in the hand and comes in at 248 grams or 8.75 ounces. And as a comparison, the best-selling Leatherman Wave comes in at 241 grams or 8.5 ounces, so actually very similar. The number 5 is built on what Leatherman calls their free technology platform, which means it follows on from the Leatherman free P series of multi-tools. So we have magnets at play and the same lock-in mechanism as the free series, and also, like the free series, all the tools are externally accessible without opening the pliers, and that in my view transforms the use of a multi-tool like this. As first impressions go, I have to say I really love the design of this tool. And as I film this, I've only had it for a short amount of time, but to me, this is probably the nicest Leatherman I have ever seen. I also love the grey finish we have here, and it's a super tough ceramic based coating called Cerakote, and that coating also extends to the pocket clip and the blade with this burnt bronze finish. I should also say from the pictures I've seen, I really like the white and bronze finish too, so if you manage to get hold of one of these, you're not going to be disappointed. I love the symmetry of this tool. Both sides are pretty much the same, except this one has the pocket clip, and details like the cutouts here I think really make a difference to the final look. And being able to see all the tools is a bit like looking into a machine, and that's something which I think looks really nice. And I can't fault the look of this tool. Now, it looks like every tool in this limited edition release has a unique serial number, and I've tried to work out what that might mean. And it starts with B05, so that's pretty obvious, that's batch number 5. Then we have T followed by 23. Now, T is the 20th letter of the alphabet, so I'm guessing we've got here 2023, the year of release. Then we have 4 more characters, and I'm guessing they might be unique to each tool. The first thing I noticed when opening the tool is that it's not as loose as my free P2, so not as easy for single-handed opening and more like a traditional Leatherman feel. And perhaps this one is a bit tight because it is brand new, but I have to say it does feel intentional and not necessarily a bad thing. On opening the pliers, the first thing you're aware of is that they are spring loaded, and that's not something that was on my wish list as a regular pliers user. However, the tension is quite light and they do feel really nice in the hand, and I know some people will really appreciate this feature. You can see there is a difference in the fulcrum here if I compare it with my P2. This has a screw fixing, which is no doubt so you can maintain the spring if and when it's needed. You'll notice we've also got a USA stamp on here, and there's also one on the main blade, which confirms that these are made in the US, which is really nice to see. And as I understand it, all the limited edition number 5 are hand assembled in Portland. The plier head otherwise looks like the P series, although I can see we've got this chamfered edge here on the number 5, which is a simple thing but really adds to the design. And when it comes to comfort in the hand, my initial impression is really very good. Then everything else is pretty much what you'd expect, such as the replaceable hard wire cutters and the crimper. And when closing the pliers, you can see the lower part forms what Leatherman referred to as an impact surface. So I guess that means we've got a hammer of sorts here. And when it comes to the tool set, I should say right from the off that this for me is approaching perfect, and in my view rights the wrongs we saw with the 3P4's flimsy looking half-sized, or some might say half-arsed, tool selection. So when it comes to the tool set, let's open with the start of the show, which is the knife blade. Now, I've never raved about a knife blade on a Leatherman before, but I am going to now. I mean, even the thumb stud here, which I don't remember seeing on a Leatherman before, is thoughtfully designed and looks really nice. Then we have the blade thickness, which is well thicker than any I've ever seen on a Leatherman before, and that would include the surge. And then we have the steel choice. This here is CPM MagnaCut steel, the one everybody seems to be talking about. It's super tough, corrosion resistant, holds an edge in hard use, and yet is not impossible to sharpen either. A seemingly impossible mix of attributes, to which we should also add the word expensive. And there's no doubt this is the first time this steel has ever been seen in a multi-tool. We have the tool release and the lock-in system of the 3 series, which works really well and in my view beats all the lock-in methods we've seen from Leatherman over the past 40 years. So let's have a quick look at the other tools, starting with the awl. Now I know this is not as chunky or as pointy as some would like, but on the flip side it could double up as a precision flathead screwdriver when you look at it. Then we have the can opener, something I'm not too excited about, but I know some people love to have them in their multi-tool. And then we have a new combination tool, a remodeling of the screwdriver and package opener we've seen in the P series, but now with a cap lifter built in. And why not when everything else on the market seems to have one? And this is a very chunky tool, which I do like. And then we have this very nice saw blade, which a lot of people want to see in their multi-tool, including me. And this is good for things like wood and plastic. On the opposite side, we have the Leatherman scissors, a tool I wouldn't want to be without. And then we have a proper file, a cross-cut wood and metal file on one side, and a very worth having diamond file on the other. And no doubt this will fuel the debate once more about metal filings not playing nicely with the magnets in here, but I'll leave that one for another day. And then we have these, one of the biggest question marks over the 3 series addressed here with the introduction of the Leatherman bit driver, which will no doubt be very well received. And we also have the small bit driver or glasses screwdriver, which I always think seems a little bit too tiny for a tool of this size, but not a bad addition overall. And that is a tool set and pretty much all I would want in here. And if you compare the tool set of the number 5 with something like the Wave Plus, which happens to be the best selling multi-tool in the world, then in my view this one beats it, and that says something. Although I'm not trying to make a direct comparison here, because obviously the number 5 here will cost a lot more. Of more relevance to more people perhaps is the fact that this tool points to the Leatherman multi-tool which is coming, and one which will be available for general unlimited release, and that is the long rumoured Leatherman Arc, brought to life briefly in Leatherman's 40th anniversary video when we glimpsed the Arc just for a second. It will, it seems, be based on the free technology platform like the number 5 here, and it seems many, if not most, of the tools seen in the number 5 will cross over to the Arc. including hopefully the Magna Cut blade, at least as an option. The release date though is still unknown, with some predicting an imminent arrival and others pointing to 2024. But when it does finally make an appearance, if it does take its lead from the number 5 here, then price permitting, this could be the tool to finally take over from the wave and propel Leatherman into the next 40 years. And if you want to know what my favourite Leatherman was before this one came along, then this video is for you. That's it for this one. I hope that's been useful. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope you can join me in the next one.